Hey guys, welcome back to BBN Network. Today is March the 12th, 2020. It is a Thursday, kind of cloudy. I think there's some storms coming this way, so be on the lookout and get into shelter. So now we're going to go into the This Day in History
segment here that we do in every podcast. So, the Cincinnati Royals, which are now the Sacramento Kings, defeated the San Diego Rockets, which are now Houston, It was 165 to 161, or 51, my bad, was the final score. And it's the 8th highest scoring game in NBA history. And it's kind of wild that they did that in 1970. They didn't have a three-point line, and even if they took a shot behind there wasn't much that got thrown up from
I know, that's crazy.
that range.
That's very crazy to have that much scored in a game.
Yeah.
165.
Yeah, usually NBA games is like a little bit over 100 and 120s, but it's a lot of.
I think the highest is the Pistons.
180s, I think.
186 to 184. So now we got a lot of things to talk about today, and we also are alongside our guest Eli Shaw, which he'll be talking later. But now we're going to talk about bracketology because the SEC tournament is canceled, and most tournaments are canceled.
Yeah.
So now let's get into bracketology with Joe Lenardi. He updated it today. So Kentucky stays a 2 seed. Duke, which, if this is true, they have dropped out of the tournament.
So is Kansas.
No, Kansas ain't. Kansas
they
ain't.
haven't?
It was a rumor. But,
Okay.
which is crazy because Duke is one of the best teams in college basketball, apparently.
Yeah.
And they just dropped out because they don't want to be embarrassed. They might even get beat by Belmont in the first round.
They didn't drop out.
I don't think they're getting embarrassed. That's
Well,
why.
they
It's because the sickness. It's not because they're embarrassed.
both, but I just I don't know why Duke dropped out. I mean, I don't know about dropping out of the NCAA tournament. I don't know about that. But like Gonzaga's a 1 seed, Kansas is a 1 seed, Dayton's a 1 seed, and Baylor. Now, if Dayton doesn't win their conference, do you think they're a 1 seed?
I think they're going to keep a 1 seed, in my opinion.
So now they got 4 SEC teams. And because of the tournament going out, there might just be 4. I thought we might get some extra ones in, but Mississippi State won't make it now.
Since there's no tournament or nothing going on.
I'm sad. I really am. And I'm always used to watching the SEC tournament.
Yeah, I remember sometimes at school, we get to watch the tournaments on TV. Some teachers will let us while tournaments always going on. But this year there won't be any, so that takes a week off right before the NCAA tournament. Takes the fun out of it. And during March Madness, there won't be any fans at any game, so that's a lot less fun than it usually is. Without the fans, we might not do as good, because Kentucky fans move. They go with the team, You see a lot of blue at every single game. But this year, it'll be a lot different, and I just hope that we can perform the same.
Yeah. Now, this is kind of crazy. Northern Iowa is on the bubble. Wow.
Northern Iowa?
I've never heard of that. So, we were going to talk about the SEC games that went on today, but they're canceled, so we can't talk about that.
Can't talk about really any tournament games.
No, we
A
can't.
lot of them have been canceled.
All we can really talk about is coronavirus. See, look at all these games canceled. Every single game today canceled.
Yeah.
Every single one. But we can't talk about the games that went yesterday. And they kind of big, too, for some teams. So, we'll be right back. We're going to take a little break, and then we'll have Eli join the show in a little bit. Hey, guys, welcome back. So now we're going to talk about the SEC tournament games that went on yesterday between Vanderbilt and Arkansas and Georgia and Ole Miss. These games really don't matter anymore, but,
Yeah. We're just going to go over them so y'all can know the final scores and everything if you're fans. So, Georgia and Ole Miss played.
Georgia dominated. I watched that game. It was a good game.
Yeah, Georgia dominated Ole Miss. It was an 81-63 game. Georgia won. And, let's see, Rayshawn Hammonds scored 22 points.
Breen Tyree.
Breen Tyree had 18. So I had Georgia winning this yesterday. Colton had the underdogs. I think he didn't really think that
I
happened.
think I had Georgia.
You had Georgia?
I think so.
Oh, okay. So now we're going to move to the Vanderbilt and Arkansas game. Arkansas beats Vanderbilt. 86-73 was the final score.
Not surprised.
Yeah, me neither. We had Arkansas winning that one. Mason Jones had 22 points, and Saban Lee dropped a 30-point bomb. So,
Even their loss.
yeah, even on a loss. So now we're going to go into a little bit of football. So we have our good friend Eli here. He's going to talk about a little college football. We're going to go over some of the rankings, the preseason rankings and everything. And so let's start this out.
So Eli, tell a little bit about yourself. What's your favorite team?
Well, I'd have to say my favorite team is Auburn due to my parents going there for college. And, no, they're not the highest team, but I can't stand bandwagons, and that's why I don't go with the highest team.
Listen to this. What's kind of weird is that there's a kid in our grade named Jake where he likes Oregon. Now this guy has a point. Eli has a point.
Yeah, he's stuck with Auburn since I've known him. He's always liked Auburn.
Yeah. But Jake, he went to Oregon for some reason.
Final Four.
Yeah.
That's why. But anyway, we don't need to talk about who's a bandwagon, whatever. Let's get into some of these football rankings for this is postseason right here.
Well, we can still look at them.
Yeah.
LSU 1, Clemson 2, Ohio State.
I
Now,
have to say that the LSU game, it was very close the first half, and then the last play, LSU got a touchdown, and then they basically ran away with it the second half. There was not that much second half. They just completely dominated.
Yeah, they dominated them. So, let's see if we can find some of the preseason rankings and some of the recruits coming on.
all right, let me look at the top 25 football, or let me NCAA football
Teams.
Wait, okay. NCAA, I put basketball.
Sorry, we're having a little bit of technical difficulty here.
We'll be right back. Now, guys, we have found the top 25
football teams.
Yeah,
coming
football
into next season.
Actually, it's top 50.
Oh, okay. Yeah, top 50 football team rankings going into next season.
So the top 4 are SEC teams, except one, which is Clemson.
No surprise there, though.
I really think Trevor Lawrence, I looked it up, it says that he is very good. Like, he has very high odds to get Heisman Trophy, and he's a really good quarterback. I mean, he started out as a freshman, and no doubt he was good since he started. But I'd have to say I'd stick with SEC.
Yeah.
So to keep this in Kentucky fashion, we're going to look at the Kentucky commits that we've got. I know we've got some really good commits.
We have 7 4-star recruits.
And we never really get that. Look, Samuel Anili, he's a 4-star. He's 6'4". He'll be it's a defensive end. And then Joel Williams, he's really good. And we got the 8th national player in the country.
Wow. Jeremy Flax.
I really think that defensive end, I think he would be a good player because you don't need a really big end. You need somebody that can get back there, but he's still big enough he can hold his ground and see over the line.
Look at this. We got more players from Ohio than we do Kentucky. And the reason why is because Mark Stoops is from Ohio.
You know, I think Kentucky is a really good basketball state. I don't think they're as good at football.
No, there's no question that there's good at football as basketball. But over the years,
we did better.
We've improved. Stoops has done good with the boys, I think, in the past few years, and we keep improving. And looks like this year we've got some pretty good recruits and some nice new fresh talent coming in. So I can't wait to see how they perform.
This will be our best average rating. It'll be a few years.
Even though I think y'all are ranked 23 over in the nation, I think you all have these good upcoming people. You might do better.
Yeah.
And I think you could be like Auburn a few years ago when they were ranked like 25 and they came back to be like ranked 10.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now we're going to look at where Auburn is for Eli here. We're going to look at some Auburn recruits. Let's see where they're at. They're ahead. They're definitely ahead of us.
They're 7th.
They're 7th. There we go.
Kind of glitchy.
Yeah. All right, so there's 16 four-star recruits for Auburn. And we've got Tank Rigsby. He's a running back. He's 6 foot, 210 pounds, so he's a good-sized running back.
Now, to me personally, he's a little bit tall for most running backs.
Most running backs are around like 5'9", 5'10", you know?
But I think he would be like a good outside running back versus an up to go.
Yeah, like a pitch and everything, yeah.
I think he could do really good at that.
Then we have Zacchaeus Walker. He is a defensive end, 6'4", 260. Kind of like the one that's coming to Kentucky. 6'4", like Eli said, was tall enough to see over the line. And he's not too tall for the defensive end, but he's just the right size.
Now, he is a little bit heavier, but he's still not too big.
Yeah, for a defensive end. He's still going to be quick, I'm sure, and can get back there. So next we have Kobe Hudson. He's a wide receiver. Coming into Auburn, 6'1", 186 pounds. So now we have Ladarius Tennyson, 5'9", 193 from Florida. So Eli, tell us about some of these commits. Have you heard about them? Have you been researching for Auburn?
I haven't really looked, but I think Auburn has a pretty good shot this year. They were really good a few years ago when they had Jarrett Stidham as a quarterback and Kerryon Johnson.
Mm-hmm,
And then when
Kerryon was great.
Yes, whenever he went on as a senior, we still had Jarrett Stidham. But we weren't as good that year, and then once he retired, last year and the year before last, we kind of struggled a little bit more. But I think this year we might be able to redeem ourselves a little.
Yeah. So,
what I kind of see is, I don't really know how they did it, is Alabama at rank 3.
Yeah. Last year, they didn't even make the playoffs.
I feel like Alabama, they didn't do as good at all.
Yeah, I don't even understand why they're 3, and LSU's behind Alabama. Do you get that?
I kind of do because Joe Burrow, he went on.
Yeah.
So, in a way, I do understand it because
you got
they
Nick
might
Saban
be thinking
still too.
Nick Saban is a very good quarterback. When he was at, and he's a very good coach too. When he was at LSU, they did pretty good. I mean, he has a pretty good history.
Yeah, bunch of championships for Alabama. He's been a really successful coach.
But now LSU, I think their coach is good too.
Yeah. So that's pretty much going to wrap it up for the football segment. Now we're going to move into the coronavirus. And coronavirus has shocked the world in sports. And it's delayed and suspended many, many professional sports. And now the SEC tournament's out of conversation. So, Colton, what's your take on the coronavirus and what it's been doing to the sports world?
I think it's terminating sports.
Yeah, it's very devastating.
It is.
Yeah.
And
I kind of think, I don't know, there are some theories about the government of when started it. And if you think back, every 2 to 4 years, there has always been some big upset over something. And this year, if we think about it, it is the year Donald Trump would be reelected, which I know is a big thing for most everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And you got the Republicans that want to keep him in, and the Democrats are really trying to get him out.
All right, we're going to go into a little break. We'll be right back.